Let's get it. Let's do it. Welcome to the I Am the Possible podcast experience, the place where possibilities become perspective. And today, guys, we are talking about how men can learn to overcome the anger, the pissed offness, and how we can overcome and really come to grips with the desire to get back. Today, on this live episode, this live experience, I am joined by my main man, brother from another, my man CJ. And we're going to be talking some real talk, some real life experience, some real life occurrences. And we're just going to be diving in, man, because we want to, on this platform, bring to men and really bring to anyone that's tapping in, because we all experience these things. But we just want to talk to men and meet men where they are. And so what we have found best to do is just use real life experiences, things that we've gone through or are going through that other men can relate to, can feel, can understand, and then provide some real talk solutions. Nothing crazy over our heads, nothing that's too esoteric or just too weird or just too out there or even too spiritual to be real with you. Just something that you can actually understand and you can apply. So yeah, man. Thank you, bro, for joining me today, man. And thank you for in advance, man, for the transparency, for just being vulnerable, because a lot of times that's one of the biggest issues and challenges that men have to be able to say what's really going on, man. So before we jump into this, anything that you want to say to the folks, man, anything that you want to share from your heart?
I appreciate the opportunity. I had to reach out to you. You my mentor, you my big bro. So, I had these issues, and
Yeah.
I had to holler at you. You know what I'm saying? See if there was something that I could do differently, and just kind of better myself at the end of the day.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So let's jump right into it, man. Let's go back to what we talking about, man.
Mm-hmm.
You can unpack it however you want to unpack it. Share from the heart. Share what you were dealing with and how you felt, and we can just take it from there. But let's start off with exactly why we're doing today's live and doing this episode. What brought us all about. So yeah, man. Just share the moment, share the experience, share the emotions, how you
Yes.
felt. Just roll with it.
So initially, like I said, I reached out to you a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I have a business, a retail business, and
Okay.
so I post up flyers around Pasadena and stuff like that, just to get a little flow, get a little exposure, and so I took it to the gym that I go to, and I had it up there for it was up there for quite some time. I noticed that I had a little bit more traffic um, on my website and people messaging me and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a different way of like word of mouth. So people just hit that QR code and bam,
Cool.
you in the website.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. And I noticed I didn't show up for a couple of days at the gym. Usually when I have the kids and stuff like that, and suddenly it was just it was very little traffic. So as soon as I got to the gym, the next opportunity, I noticed the flyer. It was on the ground.
Okay.
I'm like okay, well maybe it flew off. Maybe something happened. Maybe a dog got to it. I don't know, but something. I'm thinking, okay, let me just give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And so I took it out went inside the gym, and then came back. And when I went to the car, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna post it back up on the same spot.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna post it back on there. It shouldn't. That should tell the person, if it was a person, okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. He's trying to do his thing, just something like that. So I was just like, otherwise, I felt like it was gonna be hate. So,
Right. Right.
so I was just like, all right. So I had my glue already in the car.
Okay.
So I'm putting glue all on it
Okay.
and stuck it back on there. And it's just a little small wall.
Okay.
It's in the parking lot. It's not bothering nobody.
Okay.
It's just it's innocent,
Uh-huh.
basically. It's
Right.
an innocent flyer. And I've seen previous people put stickers on there, put flyers on there, and stuff like
Okay.
that. Like
Okay.
even like I think it was like I seen a army, like a army or just like a recruiting
Right.
uh flyer. So
Okay.
I did that, and so I noticed that theirs wasn't there, so I put it on there.
Mm.
And then so the second time I did it, came back to the gym like 3 days later, and again it was off. And
Ah,
they it specifically left it on the ground again. And I'm
right.
like, okay, now you trying to tell me something,
Right.
now it's like you could have just threw it away. You could have
Right.
just threw it away. There's a trash can right there, right
Mm-hmm.
down the stairs, and you decided to just throw it on the ground, like, and leave it on there. So now I noticed it was more traffic that day. I think it was like a Monday, and I saw people just stepping all over it. I was sitting there just watching, and it
Right.
kind of angered
Okay.
me, and I was just like, so people's not even recognizing what they're stepping on, and to me it was like, that's you stepping on me,
Mm.
like, and
Okay.
I felt some type of way. So I did it again. I put it back on there, and the third time, that's when I saw it again, threw it on the ground, and so I went to the gym, try to cool off, and
Yeah.
did about an hour, hour 20 minutes, an extra
Yeah.
20 minutes just to try to
Yeah.
get rid of that feeling, and
Yeah.
and then when I came back up, I was like, you know what? No, now
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you looking through my page now, so I'm gonna go
Mm.
ahead and say something. So I was battling myself the whole time driving home, trying to
Yeah.
battle myself, make sure I don't want to post nothing. I don't want to sit here and, you know, get out
Mm-hmm.
my lane and, start flashing and getting all crazy. I don't want to do that. I didn't,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, I didn't put up this, flyer for me to have any animosity or any
Yeah.
problem with issues with anybody. And, I got to the house, I parked the car, and I just press record.
Yeah.
I press record, and I posted it. Actually, to tell you the truth,
Yeah.
I did the first video, and that one was like a 5 minute rant. I was cussing up a storm. I was,
Right.
I
Yeah.
was, I was all on it, and
Mm-hmm.
but I recorded it the second time. I tried to calm down, and I got through it for the most part, but it was just, I know it was out of my character, especially the things, what I'm trying to do with my life,
Yeah.
and it just kind of, as soon as I posted it, it was like I was trying to force myself to say that it was a good idea.
Mm. Okay.
I was trying to force my mindset to say, you know, um, you did that, yeah, yeah, that's cool. Let them know. Let them know what's
Mm-hmm.
happening. Let them know what's up. You know, and
Yeah.
if they got a problem, we could solve that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that anger. I was so upset about it because that's my hard work money that
Yeah, man.
I put effort into this. You know,
Yeah.
I put a lot of time, money involved, and I even have my kids involved in it, trying to teach them how to get a business, trying
Mm-hmm.
to teach them the start of how to do something. um because I'm just a rookie to it, and I'm
Yeah.
just trying to do better. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like somebody was stepping all over me,
Mm.
and that got me angry.
Yeah, man. You said a couple of things that I wanted to really allow you to express more of, because one thing I know and know this, especially with anyone that's trying to do something, right? You're expressing, bettering yourself, starting a business, doing things the right way. Earlier you said when you first started the story, I was just taking notes. I felt like when I saw people stepping on the flyer, I felt like they were stepping on me. And so one of the first things that I want us to do as we provide solutions for other men that may be going through these same things, feeling these same things. It may not be a flyer, but there may be men out there today that are feeling like their efforts are being stepped on. Their 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 progress is being stepped on, or their goodwill is being stepped on. And that really speaks to the way that we as humans, whenever we experience something, we interpret something. And really, the experience that we're having is based upon the interpretation. And the interpretation is built upon the meanings that we assign something. And for a lot of us, we didn't grow up learning about assignment of meanings and interpretations and emotional regulations and the nervous system and the way that the brain and the mind works and how we take in information. And so I think this is a great first thing or first subtopic for today, because you assigned it a meaning without even really noticing it, maybe in that moment, because you were flared up in anger. So you associated, oh, they're stepping on my flyer, this feels like they're stepping on me. And so in that moment, that was the, let's just call it, the reality or the space that you were operating from. Oh, this is, they did something that is causing me to be stepped on. So now I'm going to act out. I'm going to lash out. I'm going to get back, because the meaning that I'm giving this is you're stepping on me, even though you're not physically, no one's physically stepping on you, but you feel like someone's literally stepping on your efforts. And so you begin to operate out of that interpretation, and you begin to say things, think things, feel things, do things based upon that. And so take us through more of what that felt like, as maybe you were picking it up off the ground, you were getting in your car. Is there anything else that you can recall that you were feeling, that you were thinking, that was just coming up for you in that moment?
Well, initially I was thinking about going in the gym and then taking the mic, because they have a mic for the speakers,
Yep.
and I was gonna say something,
Mm-hmm.
but that was gonna be extra, of course. You know what I mean? I could have went to the possibility of getting arrested, or having the police come by,
Mm-hmm.
just going over there, just going in the front and grabbing the mic and just be like
Yeah.
saying something. And then on top of that, it's the person's probably not even there. I don't
Yeah.
know when this happened.
Hmm.
So that kind of like helped me calm down a little bit. But it
Hmm.
was just, I think it was just something that I wanted to get back.
Yeah.
I wanted to let them know that I ain't no punk.
Yeah.
I wanted to let them know that, you affecting me now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you affecting my business and what I'm trying to do. And you don't even know me.
Wow.
You have no slightest idea of who you doing this to,
Hmm.
you know? And the whole thing of it is that I think another reason why I was so quick um to get to this point
Hmm.
and post this video was because the past 30 days I've been going through a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Dealing with court with my kids,
Hmm.
one of my kids, and then my other kid I'm barely seeing. So all that stuff that I was going through, it kind of just built up. And that was like the last straw, pretty much.
Yeah.
It was more of me kind of expressing to the world or expressing myself. And um, I guess I felt bottled up and I didn't even know. I didn't even know that. It was just more of like all I seen was red. All I
Hmm.
wanted to do was hit something. All I wanted to do was have the person sit there and say, I did it, and then, we get it on. Like,
Mm-hmm.
win, lose, or draw.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to get it on at that moment. So it was kind of like, and like I said, I forced myself to see that. I forced myself, like, I knew in the back of my mind, like, maybe this is not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And people that know me know that I'm not the type of person to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like, nah, I got something to say. And, oh, there was another thing too. I was going through
Mm-hmm.
with my couple of my friends,
Okay.
I had little issues with them, and it was just kind of like everything was just building up, and I felt like people were taking my kindness for granted.
Mm.
I felt like I'm always the person to be like, okay, I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna leave it alone. Whether it's with my kids, with my friends, um, it just everything, and it felt like this is the business that I started from scratch. I came up with this idea, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been going well. And for somebody to kind of like intrude in that space that I created, it was like I felt like I had to defend it, because
Mm-hmm.
I could only defend certain things to an extent or to a point. Um, whether it be my kids or family, or friends.
Mm-hmm.
But with this, it was kind of like, nah, I'm not taking this BS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not finna take this. Like, no. And it just spiraled from there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you use keyword spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because as I'm listening to you, and I think this is what a lot of us, deal with. I know I've certainly dealt with it. As we say, when it rains, it pours.
Hmm.
Sort
Hmm.
of that taking one thing that in a vacuum maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like say if life was just life as far as it, right?
Hmm.
Because reality is happening on the inside, right? Like
Hmm.
we now understand through neuroscience that it's like we're not really seeing life really as it truly is, but it's more of an internal projection. And so as far as you understand, if life was going perfect, but your flyer was on the ground, maybe, and I'm just asking you, maybe your reaction wouldn't have been so dramatic.
Hmm.
But as you said, as I took note of, this had been building up,
Yeah.
almost like pressure, right? Is building up in a pipe, like pressure
Yeah.
in a pipe, steam in a pipe. Is building, is building, is building, is building. And this is like, in a sense, your last straw, like the straw that breaks the right back, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the last straw. So I think that's important for us to understand that as we learn how to overcome anger, um, and how we can overcome some of these emotions that cause us to just maybe do something that maybe we regret or we don't really want to do, or we
Mhm.
kind of look back and we reflect like you did. It's like that's not really true of my character. That was like a moment that I had, but it really wasn't who I am, as you stated earlier. Because looking at what you were saying was, I felt taken for granted by some of my friends, the other issues, deal, dealing with the kids in court, um, feeling like stepped on, like you were stepped on, feeling like there was a intrusion of your business. You said earlier the business was going well. This person intruded. Now, as we add value to the listening audience, right? Those who are watching, those who are listening, I want to sort of insert some things in here as we continue with the story. Um, so if we take a step back, everything was feeling based. So one thing that and I know that you know this, right? But this is something that we want to continue to remind brothers of, is that emotions are what they are, but we then use the emotions to prompt whatever we're going to prompt. So a emotion, anger, for example, we entitled this overcoming anger, but really anger is nothing to overcome. Anger in and of itself is neither good or bad. It's just how you utilize it, because every emotion is just an informant. It's informing you of something. So in this case, when we're triggered and we're feeling angry, one of the things that we can do, and I'm just sort of like organically trying to bake in some of this solution and bake in some of these things that brothers can take away from it, is like whenever we're experiencing an emotion, whatever the emotion is, um, understanding that it's pointing to something. So the emotion in and of itself is pointing CJ to take notice of something. I always say, whenever you talk about emotions, think of them as informants. They're informing you of something deeper. They're pointing to something deeper. And so it's taking the stance of curiosity. What is this pointing me to? What is this informing me of? What should I take notice of? One of the reasons why that's so important, man, is that when we become curious about discovering and understanding what the emotion is pointing to, it buys us time to not have to pop off and do something that maybe we regret, or something that we look back on and say, man, damn, I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish I wouldn't have said that. I wish I wouldn't have took it there. Sometimes it's just a little gap of time. That's why when people are all hyped, they say, hey, take 10 deep breaths. All that 10 deep, there's nothing magical about the 10 deep breaths. The only thing that the 10 deep breaths does is it gives you time. It buys you back time. There are so many men that are locked up right now in prison, so many men that are dead in the grave because they didn't have any time between the emotion and the reaction. So even, and this is kind of going to the second point, and I want you to unpack that some more for us. As you were getting in the car and you were driving home, you stated that you were wrestling with, how am I going, right? Like you were like checking with yourself. How am I going to deal with this? How am I going to approach this? What is this going to look like? What is this going to be like? You actually had time, but
Yep.
maybe what you weren't putting into practice at that time was the leveraging of the curiosity with the knowledge that, yes, I am angry. I am right now currently pissed off. You become an observer of the emotion. Yep, I am CJ. I am pissed. And now what does that mean? Buying that time. It doesn't make the thing go away, but what it does is it gives you time to begin to maybe analyze a little better and have a better conversation with yourself, a more quality conversation with yourself before continuing to react. So take us through that ride home. What was the ride home in terms of, why do you think you were able to leave from the gym, get all the way home, and still record the video?
I think it was just I think it was just more me trying to prove a point.
Okay.
I wanted to prove a point to somebody, and I I thought about the consequences. I thought about how I was going to look, because I most days I'm posting scriptures, I'm posting positivity on my page, and I thought about that, and I
Hmm.
was like, I don't care. Like, I was just like, nah, we not today. We not posting that today. And it was just like I was battling that within
Hmm.
myself. I was even thinking like I know for a fact that I'm gonna be on here cussing. I'm gonna be on here mad as hell.
Uh-huh.
And my mama follow me. Sorry, mom.
Yeah.
I ain't
Right.
mean to cuss, but it was just like it was you know I let it overcome.
Hmm.
Um, and I invited that because that's at that time that's what I wanted.
Hmm.
And it didn't overpower. It was more like I invited the anger to feel it. I invited it to take over and to prove a point.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it was like I didn't prove no point to nobody.
Mm.
I saw that at the end. But during that car ride, it was like, oh yeah, somebody finna get it today.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody finna feel it today.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was ready. I
Yeah.
was ready.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, listen, man, like I said, and maybe we should have set this up a little better in the beginning, but hey, man, we living, we learning. So one of the things for anyone who's watching, anyone who's listening, one of the things that we want to do with this platform, because me and CJ gonna be doing this a lot more and a lot more often, is we basically want to have these conversations where we bake in coaching, right? So I'm a certified life coach, but I've refined that to be more of a leadership capacity coach. And I've been mentoring CJ for years. And so we have this relationship. I mean, he's truly my brother. But in respect to how he sees me as a mentor, we've had this relationship dynamic for quite some time. And so we just thought it would be a good idea for us to begin podcasting together and just having these kinds of conversations where I can, in a sense, coach live. He's not my client by any means, but just the dynamics. We thought it would be pretty cool to begin to have conversations where coaching can get baked in, and so you'll see me at times kind of coach him up a little bit, but it's really he's benefiting from it in real time, but it's also to provide content as coaching content for any men out there that may be going through the same thing. So that's really the dynamic that we're creating here. And so as we go through this, we'll just kind of pause and we'll have kind of some little coaching tips here and there, but we'll continue on with the story because it's through our stories. It's through our struggles and through our suffering that we connect with one another, and men can understand that there's other men who understand. So that's really what we're doing here. So wanted to really put that out there, and we'll do a better job going forward with kind of level setting when we start the podcast to let you guys know that's what we're doing. So going back to what you were saying about just wanting to let them know and to kind of get back. And you said something interesting. You said, I'm not posting that today, more of that positivity stuff. And what I think is important for us to kind of pause and really call out for men is that, and I want to hear from you on this, is that many times we will, let's call it break character. Normally 6 days a week, we're posting scripture, positive affirmations, quotes from other famous people that have said positive things. But today, nah, get that out of here. Today, I'm pissed. Today, we about to do this. Today, somebody gonna know I ain't the one to mess with. Today, we gonna pause on the positivity and we gonna do this thing, right? Without and this is not my intention, right? Without giving men permission, we don't have to give you permission. You're a man, you're going to do whatever you're going to do anyway. But without, in a sense, the intention of giving you permission to wild out and do your thing, I think it is something that should be noted that there is no character to break. Like there is no, I'm this person. So if I do something that I deem not good, not positive, something I'm ashamed of, like, I guess what I'm saying is that it's good for us as men to understand that you're not bound to this walk of perfection and walk of a particular character, that when you sidestep that character or you step out of that character, that all of a sudden now makes you this bad person, makes you this sinful person for our faith community. You're not backsliding. You haven't disappointed God. You haven't become some bad dude now that needs to be self-condemned and now you need to, in a sense, win back your place with God or win back your place just in society. And sometimes you just want to dump on yourself forever. I think it's worthy of saying one of the best ways that we can begin to overcome these emotions that we don't really like, and how we can begin to, deal with this whole, feeling of regret when we're attempting to get back at somebody, is by understanding that you are very much a human, which means that you are very much subject to the emotional roller coaster that we all ride, and that the only label and definition that you have to endure is the one that you place on yourself. Like I got this cup of coffee right here, and I got this when I went to Hawaii. This Kai coffee. There's a label on here. I can't scratch that label off. I can't get that label off. It's permanent. Some of you brothers out there, and I want to hear your take on this, CJ. Some of you brothers out here, you've put a label on yourself in silence, in secrecy. No one else knows about it. But you've, like this says Kai Coffee, if we were to look at your internal concept of who you believe you are, you've done something or said something at some point in your life, and now you've labeled yourself internally, permanently, whatever. You fill in the blank, bro. Whatever that is for you, bro, you fill in the blank. But you've labeled yourself something that's less than who God created you to be. And now you're stuck with that label. I didn't give it to you. CJ didn't give it to you. Your mom and them didn't give it. You gave it to yourself because of the way you felt about what you did at one point in your life. And now you've been locked up in this self-induced prison because you've labeled yourself this. And all we're saying to you is that label is up to you. Anytime you want to peel that label off, you can. Anytime you want to do away with that label, you can. You're the only one that can put it on there. You're the only one that can take it off. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to miss the mark. We're all going to, for our faith community that's listening, we're all going to sin. We're all going to fall short of the glory of God. However you name it and frame it, we're all going to do that, bro. But you're the only one that can let yourself out that cage, man. Because ain't nobody else put you in it, and ain't nobody else responsible for taking you out of it. So I just want to hear from you, man. What did you feel? Because you already alluded to it. I was taking notes. Once you did it, once you posted it, because take us through this, because you made one video, you said, cussing up a storm, like a 5-minute video, you said. But then something must have happened within you, bro. Something must have happened for you to then record a second one. Because God knows social media loves that smoke. Social media loves that smoke. You probably would have went viral off that one, right? But something in you said, no, let me record a more dialed down version. Take us through that process, man.
Well, it was just the way after going on and on, it was just like I stopped it, and then I was about to post it, and then I was just like, nah, that's too long, and I'm just going 100 miles an hour at this point, so I recognized that, so that's why I was just like, okay, hold on, like let's make it make sense. If you're gonna do this, like let's make it make sense, and kind of put some humor towards it a little bit, because honestly, I was kind of reaching towards the humor part of the whole little. I thought it was funny, to be honest. I thought it was funny, but everybody like messaged me after the fact and was like, "Are you okay? Like, is somebody messing with you?" Like, like I was just like, "Wait, what?" Like, so it was just kind of when I did the 5-minute video, I was just like, you know what, scratch that. I need to make a point, and I need them to understand where I'm coming from. So that's when I made it a priority to say, okay, look, like this is my business.
Yeah.
You're affecting my business, and like you don't even know me, and you're hating. Like,
Right.
how is that possible? it's mind boggling to me how people can sit there and not even know you and just can't wait to hate on you,
Yeah.
can't wait to be negative with you, and it's like that's crazy to me,
Yeah.
So I felt like I had to put them in their place. I
Mm.
felt like they had to look in the mirror and say, man, yeah, I look stupid. I wanted to make sure that I reached them and say, look how stupid you look for you to do this. Like, it took a 1 second emotion, whatever you were going through.
Yeah.
You just decided like this was a good idea for you to just rip my stuff off and just throw it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like you thought it was a good idea. And so I'm here to let you know that it wasn't. And if I wanted to fix the problem, I wanted to fix his issue,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and it could have been a little kid playing.
Yep.
It could have been a woman. It could have been it could have been the city cleaning up the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been it was just a multiple options that was there that I was just like, okay, I need to kind of maneuver this a bit different.
Yeah.
But it was still the anger that was just like, nah, it was somebody. It
Mm-hmm.
was somebody that was hating. That was in my mind. It was somebody that was hating
Mm-hmm.
for them to do this 3 times. So it's like, okay, nah, I need to let them know what's going on. So yeah, at the end of it, it was just kind of like I did regret it, but it was like at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, it's like whatever.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because you brought up two excellent points that we coach about. The first one was you mentioned, which I think is excellent. It could have been the city. It could have been a kid. It could have been a woman. It could have been. It could have been. It could have been. One of the things that's so important when it comes to overcoming high levels of high charged emotions, the desire for payback and get back, just when we're worked up, when we're really riled up, and we're on the brink of doing something that we might regret, is considering what else could this mean. Like, that's a power question. Like, there is psychology behind that is a power question. Literally, when I was being certified as a coach, that was literally one of the questions. What else could this mean? How many words is that? What else could this mean? Okay, 5 words. We're gonna have to coin that. 5 words that can settle your butt down. I don't know. We're gonna come up with something, right? We're gonna make that a whole method right there. The 5-minute calm down method. What else could this mean? That's
Yeah,
powerful because you actually
it is.
practiced it. That's what we actually coach. What else could this mean? The reason being is because you don't know.
Mm.
Like, lean into that. You don't know. It could have been the wind. You don't know. You know how powerful that revelation is? I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm pissed. I'm going to let somebody know. Homie, you don't know. Now, when you know, you know.
Yeah,
As we say in the culture, if you know, you know.
yeah.
But in this context, you don't know.
Yep.
So it's almost like, dude, how dare you get to a level 10
Mm-hmm.
emotionally? We ain't judging you, but it's like a self-assessment. How dare I get to a 10 on the anger scale
Yeah.
when I'm missing a major part of the puzzle? A piece of the puzzle is missing. It's like going into a court case and you're going to persecute someone without evidence. Well, I just feel he's guilty. Well, why do you think he's guilty? He was the first person I looked at. Really? Really? That's what we doing? Just the first person you look at. You're making a case in your mind with no evidence.
Yeah.
A judge would laugh you out of court.
Yeah.
Because the first question they're going to ask you is, how come you charging this person with it? Well, Your Honor, blah, 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 blah. That's lawyer talk 101. Why are you trying to put this person behind bars?
Yeah.
You need evidence.
Yeah.
So what if we as men looked at our internal state of being as a court case, a courtroom? And the very first thing we got to ask ourselves is, do I have evidence? Where's my evidence?
Yeah.
I'm about to go off and make a pissed off video for 5 minutes and rant. And I'm not talking down on you. I'm just keeping it in the context. I'm gonna go rant for 5 minutes, being someone I don't really want to be, based upon little to no evidence. And in hindsight, when it all makes sense, it always makes sense after the fact.
Yeah, it so do.
It could have been the wind. It could have been the girl. It could have been a child. It could have been a city. It could have been a la la la. Well,
Yeah.
let's reverse engineer that. How powerful of a man will you be when it becomes a natural practice for you? That when you get angered the next time, that the first thing you do is you say, where's my evidence? And then the next thing you do is, what else could this be? And then the next thing you do is, how else could I approach this? And the next thing you do is, what's the next meaning that I could assign this without it being someone stepping on me and someone's intruding my business and someone's doing something to me? How could I flip that and make something that I assign as a meaning work for me and not against me? How can I leverage this moment to do something that's going to benefit me versus break me further down, because you were already going through it with the courts and with the kids and with the other stuff and with your friends. You were already going through it. How can I leverage this in a way that's going to make me feel better and do better and look better to me? Because the way other people look at you don't mean nothing. But how can you paint a better picture of yourself through the very problem that you're facing? So that's another thing that we can do. Let me ask you about this. You said somebody, taking my notes. Speak more about this concept. You needed to correct them. You needed to, I'm trying to find the right words. Somebody, I had to put them in their place. That's what it was. Okay. Speak to that as a man. Why do you think men typically, some men, because I hate general terms because all men don't do this, but why do you think some of us as men feel we need to put people in their place? Where do you think that comes from?
I would have to say pride. Just the pride in yourself. You felt, I felt like, I was being taken advantage of. I felt like, like I wasn't being listened to. I wasn't being heard. And it was like, I wanted to take control of it. I wanted to sit there and make a point, make an example out of it. And, not to touch my stuff, not to mind your business, and it was pride. It was total pride in me. I let that pride get angered, get that control. And I guess it was just more of being masculine, being like just kind of like a barbaric, like, I don't care, I'm just gonna rip up everything, and I'm just, whoever it is, I'm gonna rip them up and, show that, not to touch my stuff no more. It was just, yeah, I would have to say it was major pride.
Do you feel or think that there's been times in your life where someone has taken advantage of you, touched your stuff, done you wrong? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Can you share, you ain't got to go super deep or whatever, but just can you share as much as you're comfortable, can you share either a childhood moment or a younger moment where this kind of played out in your life, where it's like, yeah, man, someone touched my stuff, someone intruded, someone did something to me that I felt like I didn't at that time have the ability to fill
Hmm.
in the blank.
Yeah, I would have to, for that, I would have to say, I think what recently, went on with uh, my good friends, you know, taking advantage of my kindness. Uh, I'm the type of person that's always there for people.
Mm-hmm.
When someone calls me, uh, family member, friend, I'm dropping everything,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm trying to, if you give me a moment, I'm there for you,
Right.
so without no hesitation. I'm not, looking for anything in return. I'm not looking for validation. I'm not looking for your friendship. I'm just, it's just natural that I
Mm-hmm.
want to be there to help. Um, so it was just the things that I was doing for them throughout, and it panned out in my mind, like throughout all these years, I've shown my worth.
Mm-hmm.
I shown my worth to this friendship. I showed my worth to this relationship, and you so quick to just forget about me.
Mm-hmm.
You so quick to just like, oh, he don't mind. It's okay. I've done it before. It's fine. He's cool with it. Because I never said anything,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kept doing it, kept being there. Okay, I guess, and obviously I started getting tired of it,
Yeah.
but it was just more like, hey, these are my peoples. Let me I'm gonna look out for them. I'm gonna be there for them. And so I started when I got to that point.
Yeah.
Like this past 30 days, it was just like
Yeah.
it was all like coming at once, and it was just like, okay, well, uh, I feel like if I let this person who I don't even know, I'm letting them know my feelings, but I can't even let my own friends know, or I
Wow.
can't let my own family know
Yeah.
what I'm feeling,
Mm-hmm.
how it's being reciprocated and how it's being in a return. Not that I wanted something in exchange. I
Yeah.
didn't want I didn't want anything in exchange. I just wanted like acknowledgement of what I'm doing, understanding of what I'm doing. Um, so it was just like, that's where I felt like, okay, well, you know what? Now I need to let my friends know what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And I took it to that point where, I reached out to them and I told them, what took place,
Yeah.
because they knew I was distant. They felt it because
Mm-hmm.
I stopped texting. I stopped answering the calls. I went that whole time, like 2 or 3 weeks, and they didn't hear from me.
Yeah.
So they knew something was wrong. So when I had that opportunity, I approached them, but I approached it a different way. I didn't approach it the same way that I was on this rant,
Yeah.
you know, because obviously I care about these people. Obviously they family,
Yeah.
I grew up with them. So it was just kind of like I had to sit there and, just come to grips and say, hey, I need to speak up for myself. I need to help them understand where I'm coming from too. It's not just, I can't just let it keep being taken advantage of. So, and by the grace of God, it was accepted.
Hmm. Yeah.
I was surprised, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that happened. The return that I got, the information that I got, the response that I got, it was, I didn't expect it. I expected us to get into an argument, or I expected us to keep fighting or something like that, you know?
Yeah, man.
To the point where it's just gonna be like, all right, just drop it, just
Mm.
forget it. But it was a it was awakening for me
Yeah.
because I was able to be heard, and it felt good. I mean, it was a wrong way how I said it, of course, in certain ways, because we're still trying to prove a point, but I still felt like it just needed to be said, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope that they understood that it wasn't bad intentions
Yeah.
towards the feeling or what I felt. It was just, this is the honest way of how I felt.
Mhm. You said something interesting there. You stated, feel like I was heard.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to that a little bit more. Have you in the past felt like you haven't been heard, or like your voice hasn't been taken serious, or like you had no voice? Has that ever come up for you in the past where you either felt like you didn't have a voice, you felt like what you were saying wasn't being taken serious, or like you just didn't have an ability to voice something that would create change?
Yeah, I didn't have confidence in it.
Okay.
I didn't have no confidence in the things that I thought about, um, the issues that I have with people. I Like we were talking about earlier before we got on the mic. I wanted my best to avoid confrontation, because when I get into confrontation, anger gets it's over. I black out. I'm upset. You no longer my friend.
Yeah.
It's just seeing red. You know, um, and it you turn into a point where you don't care about people. You don't care about yourself. You don't care who you hurt. You don't care. All you know is that you wanna end this. You
Yeah.
know, so it was that's I try my best to avoid the confrontation.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I don't say something. That's the reason why I don't speak my mind, because I feel like the way that I say things sometimes it could interpret as in like, hold on, who you talking to? Like I don't when I get angry,
Yeah.
I talk to people a different way, and they're gonna feel the anger.
Yep.
So it's kind of it's I rather avoid that,
Mm-hmm.
so I keep it to myself.
Mm-hmm. So even through because that makes sense. Let me just first validate that. That makes sense. Like it's a protection mechanism. I'm protecting them from,
Hmm.
in a sense, feeling my wrath,
Yeah.
and I'm protecting myself from what comes from them feeling my wrath. Like
Mm.
if I lash out, they take it as I'm coming off crazy. They're gonna respond, or the relationship's gonna end, or like whatever the reaction from my reaction is. I want to go ahead and avoid that
Hmm.
because I don't want to experience that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it makes total sense that it's more of a protective mechanism. And
Mm.
so what I would ask you is, why do you think, so right now your current way of addressing anger is, I know myself well enough to know that when I get to that point, is going to be all red. Nothing's good is going to come of that. So that's a level of self-awareness. Now the next level of self-awareness is being aware of why anger has that kind of control over you. Because if we go back to what we were talking about earlier, right? Emotions are not good nor bad. They are what they are until we charge them with energy. So the anger in and of itself, anger is not a bad thing. Anger is not a good thing. Anger becomes whatever you desire it to be because of other contributing factors. So the next level of awareness is, what do you think is at the root of why your anger is, in a sense, either, something that you can't control, or it's something that you try to avoid at all costs, rather than anger being something that you partner with, that you embrace, that you, as I was taught during coaching, right? We don't eliminate, we integrate. So anger is something that right now you're currently, anger for you is, I eliminate it because I know what it can cause me to do, say, and think. But how can we begin to integrate the anger into your life so that it's not something that you avoid, and it's not something that you continue to try to sidestep? Because the very thing that you look to avoid and sidestep is the very thing that you're going to continue to find yourself wrapped up in. Because whenever we're trying to avoid something, we're actually promoting its importance within our own lives. So the less and less you try to avoid it, and the more and more you see it as something that naturally occurs and that's extremely controllable based on the way you approach it. Currently, what are you thinking is almost like the energy behind the anger? Like what do you think, what areas in your life or things that you feel like within yourself you may need to consider addressing, that's making the anger something that you can't control right now?
So I think it's, as men,
Mhm.
we tend to, I mean, a lot of times we don't think about what's going to happen once we flip out and stuff like that. But as men, we have this thing where it's like, I'm gonna chill for a second. I'm a chill for a second, but then it's boiling up, and we hold it in, and we think about it day and night. It goes through day and night of thinking about it, thinking about it. Then another problem comes. Now you're thinking about that part. Okay, I'm gonna chill. Thinking about it day and night, day and night. It all boils up. It all boils up, and we're not talking to nobody.
Yep.
We're not reaching out to nobody. We just keeping it all inside and not saying nothing to nobody until it pops off. Till you popping off on somebody. Till something happens, and then it's uncontrollable. Then it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's because of this, because of that, and this and this and this, and,
Yep.
and you all over the place. So, and then people like, what are you talking about? Everybody's looking at you like you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because we tend, as men, we don't want the confrontation. Like, most men sit there and say, I ain't gonna start it, but I'll finish it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what we are, and we try to sit here and hide those things. We try to sit there and say like, okay, we'll get over it. We'll let it pass.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be cool, and you don't even know, in the back of your mind, it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I recognize. Like, once I started talking to everybody, once I started letting it out, and I started, looking into myself, I was like, I sounded crazy in my perspective, my own perspective, not to anybody else. I mean, they all gonna have their opinions, but to me, it was like, dang, I was looking crazy this whole time when I could have just sat there and reached out to somebody and, kind of explain where I was coming from. Or even if I would have had those conversations with my friends before this happened, I probably would have never made that video.
Wow.
Because the instances with my friends was like, it was more heartbreaking to me, and it affected me a lot.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know how to say it. I just didn't know how to communicate it to them. And I just let it boil it up all inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the communication that men need to have is key. It's key. And, to, like you said, the question,
Mm-hmm.
what could this mean? You know, what could this possibly, what is the other options that this could mean for me, that I need to work on? And after all that happened, the next day, even that same day I came in the house, I started working, and I turned on Darius Daniels. Turned on Darius Daniels, and he was doing a Bible study for Wednesday, and I was listening to it, and he just like, I had to pause it, I had to turn it off because he was talking to me, and I was like, I can't, yeah, like this is God right here, and he gave me this business to do, and here I am getting mad over somebody that I don't even know, and I'm trying to give you a business and help you expand, and you're tripping off these little things that you could have went about it a totally different way. And I'm trying to give you more, but you can't even be a manager of this little. You can't even manage the things that you have. That's you haven't even started.
Wow.
You're barely starting this, and you already ranting and raving all on the internet and doing all this extra stuff. Imagine if you had 5,000 people and then 10,000 people or 100,000 people, and you go from this person to totally flip. Like, they're going to condemn you. They're going to sit there. Your name going to get bad and all this other stuff. Like, it turns out, to be worse over a little small problem that you could have went about it a totally different way. And right now it's like, I have a whole thing that I could have said differently. Wow. I could have went about it differently. And that's why I thank God the people that I do have in my life, the mentors that I have in my life, the things that I seek out for myself to try to better myself. We'll look on YouTube to better our golf swing.
Yeah.
We'll look on YouTube to better our basketball shot.
Right.
We'll look on YouTube to try to start a business or how to start a business, but we won't look on YouTube to how to keep our marriage. We won't look on YouTube to how to be a better person. We don't look on YouTube for those things. How to keep a relationship, how to be respectful to people. But we don't, because if they ain't respectful to me, I ain't gonna be respectful to them. And how does that go? How does that work out?
Right.
So it was just more me like, okay, in order for me to better myself, I have to do the job too. I have to do the work. I can't just wait for it to come to me. So that's the reason why I reached out to you.
Yeah.
I reached out to you and I was like, I need you to look at this. I don't know if you looked at it, but I need you to look at this and we need to talk, Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know your character, so I know, I saw it and I said, I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to interact with it because I don't want, because if you do anything to it, that creates interpretation. Any action creates interpretation. So I said, I'm going to not touch it at all. And I'm going to see where this goes for him. So as a man that loves you, I know you didn't do something that was going, like, it wasn't life defining, if I can put it that way. Like, so I didn't see it as something like, okay, I got to reach out because he's about to go to jail, or let me reach out because he's about to get killed. Like, it wasn't like that. So I said, okay, this falls into the category of let's see how he deals with it. And so when you reached out, I was like, yeah, I've got my 2 cents, but my 2 cents is going to always be redeeming because, like I told you when I first reached out, it's like the very things that we sometimes condemn ourselves for are the very things that we can then utilize to do the most good with. Like, we're having this conversation. I'm looking at the timer. We've been talking about this for an hour. Somebody's being positively influenced because you made a mistake. If that's what you call it. I'm not calling it a mistake. I'm just calling it something CJ did.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you however you label it, bro, the reason we're talking today is because you did that.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
someone's benefiting from what you did.
Mm-hmm.
We always have that redemptive power, authority. We can either do something that we're not proud of and leave it as it is, or we can do something that we're not proud of, and then we can leverage it to be of service to others. We
Yeah.
always got that option.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what I felt. That's what I felt that I needed to do. You know, make it as a leverage to better not only myself, but maybe somebody who's in a similar position, you know, and that kind of like, I was vulnerable and kind of second guessing this, you know, doing it like this, but it was, I just felt like it needed it. It needed to be addressed like this, because I can put these things and post these things on my Instagram about positivity and all this other stuff, and then I get on here and I snap. People are looking at me like, "Oh, I guess you're not this godly man that you say you are." But that's the point. That's the point. I make mistakes.
Yes.
I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, and I'm not trying to be perfect. That's the point. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm not that guy.
Yep.
You just not. I'll make mistakes, but that's the reason of me posting these things, these positive things, but not to. I mean, it is helpful to help people. That's always been my dream and my goal. But mainly, these posts is what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Is what I'm looking to be. Is what I'm looking to think.
Yeah.
These posts are for me. Like, it's to train my mind to see this. So then when these issues come about, I'm already strapped. I'm already equipped. You know, I see this problem coming, so let me maneuver this way.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what was said. Like, okay, I remember I went through this conversation with my big bro. You know, I remember, okay, now I can maneuver this way this time.
Yep.
And that's what I saw.
Yeah, man. Yep. Yeah. There's a lot of, you've come a long way, man. Come a long way, as we all have. It's that tone should not be, I'm big bro and I'm guru and I'm noticing all of these qualities in you, so now I'm here to enlighten you that you have grown. No, bro, it's we're all on our journey, right? But but it is a call out, it is a compliment to say that, because I have been, we've been on this journey for some time now, I can see where you've come from, right? So when my mentors tell me that makes me feel good, because I'm like, when they say, hey man, I see you growing. Yeah. So it should never be taken as the guru on high giving you no, but it's like, bro, I just, on some real talk, man, you sound different, you look different, you move different. And so to anybody out there, man, to any brother that's listening, watching live or on the replay, I've seen this brother grow. This conversation that we're having today, we wouldn't be having 10 years ago. But it's he's putting in the work, as we say. I mean, he and I both, I don't know, is your favorite player Kobe?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we even got that in common. Favorite player of all time. Our GOAT is Kobe Bean Bryant. And he's famous for saying, man, it's like putting in the work, man. I was just watching a video of him yesterday, because I'll literally go on YouTube, like you're talking about going on YouTube. I'll just look up Kobe, because people make like motivational, inspirational videos of just like little clips.
Yeah.
And dude, he got 1 million Jews, man, just 1 million Jews, where he just, and all of them almost sound the same. If you lazy, get the hell away from me. If you ain't gonna put the work in, get out the gym. If you ain't gonna show up at 3 a.m., just don't even talk to me. Like, I love. He wanted to win.
Yeah.
And for men, the game of life, like, we want to win, but we also have to put the work in.
Yes.
And the work that we are taught many times is the work of bossing people around, controlling everything, manipulating everything, cutthroat, getting what we want at any cost, get rich or die trying. I wish he never made that album. He has some tracks or whatever the kids call it nowadays. Like, he has some bars, but that title, man, dang it. That's just the wrong mentality, because too often he escaped it, but there are sadly too many brothers who are literally dying, actually in the freaking grave, trying to get rich. But that's for a different show. But no, man, it's like we've been taught that the work that we need to put in is this weird manipulative, control-based, go at it hard, dominate everything. And it's like, dude, no, the real work is what you've been doing. The introspection, the self-talk, the who am I for real, the what do I stand for? What am I doing in this world? What legacy am I leaving? What contribution will I make? That's the work that I see you doing. That's the work that inspires, and so, just going back to the Kobe thing, it's like, that's what he sounded crazy. Well, I mean, not crazy, but he sounded heartless when he was saying it, right? It was like, damn, do this guy care about anybody but himself? Yeah, he actually did.
Yeah.
It took that level of intensity to get through the challenges that were before him.
Yeah.
So he just understood something that the rest of us just didn't understand at that time. But ultimately, look who continues to eat off of his hard work. You feel me? There's a lot of folks that's eating off the plate that he fixed. Like, he went to the buffet line and filled up the plate. And then he, as we say, died too soon, but everybody else is still eating. So, yeah, man, you're putting in the work. So I can see that in you, man. Yeah. Yep. I wanted to break down just 2 more things before we wrap this one up, man. Earlier you talked about, or I asked you the question about, like, what things do you think you should take notice of kind of within yourself to address the anger issue. One thing that I noticed or picked up as you were talking was, we typically call them soft skills. Anything that's in the mental, anything that's not done with the hands, we call them soft skills. So thinking, decision making, cognitive skills. One thing that I heard in that, as you were explaining it, sort of the word underneath the word, is perhaps men don't have, or at least men that fall into this context, or just, let's just say many men, because we have to have a term that at least for myself, I can stop trying to explain. Just so, for us in general as men, maybe we're not taught like decision-making skills, like actually how to make quality decisions. And so we're kind of left to kind of figure it out, because pops didn't know how to make no decisions. And for some of us, pops just what. Now, for you, like, pops was there. For me, like, pops wasn't even in the picture until 23. But for a lot of us as men, pops isn't there to teach us how to make quality decisions, or pops is there, but he was never taught how to make quality decisions. And so we hit 18, 21, we're considered adults in America. And now America expects us as men to go about this thing called life, making quality decisions, being good citizens, but we were never taught to do that. How does that land for you? Just kind of speak to your own experience, or just speak to that in general, however that comes up for you. But do you think the soft skill of just men knowing how to make quality decisions, do you think that that's contributing to some of these challenges where our emotional states and just our ability to kind of, want that get back is concerned?
Yeah, I think for the most part, like we we as men, we're we have this we have this thing where it's just like we let it control us. We let it control us to the point where um we're just not thinking. And the the decision making skills that we acquired was vision.
Mm,
It was looked upon. We saw it.
hmm.
But as far as it being spoken to us, as far as it being broken down as to the decisions that you're gonna make and the mistakes that you're gonna make, it was never like explained
Mm.
to help us win. We only saw the examples of what not to do through our eyes,
Man.
and that's all we saw. Though
Hmm.
we didn't see the right, we didn't see the right path that people went. We didn't see that in our neighborhoods. We didn't
Hmm.
see that in our communities. We saw most of the time the things of what to do wrong.
Hmm.
And we would sit there and say to ourselves, like, okay, we're not going to do that. But then when you get put in that position, you black out
Wow.
and you're going to do what you saw.
Mm.
So in that case, you doing the thing that you're not supposed to do. And that's the toughness that I've had to deal with myself, because at a younger age, I made so many mistakes, and I should have been in jail right now. I should have been dead, but I'm not, and I
Hmm.
have to take this time and take advantage. And the mistakes that I made, I'm still finding it hard to forgive myself. I know
Hmm.
I'm supposed to forgive myself. I know that I'm not bigger than God, and I've heard, those things like, if God can forgive you, how come you can't forgive yourself? Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're not in this position. You didn't make the choices that I made. The choices that I made, it devastated people, a lot of people.
Mm.
It affected so many people, and out of all the people, it affected me the worst,
Mm.
because I'm still finding it hard to forgive myself, still to this day, of the mistakes that I made. And I, I, I'm trying to now have this relationship with God where, the praying is more involved. I'm taking initiative to seek out prayer, because prayer is now like me talking to God. And I'm not sitting there saying, "Dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you for everything that you've given me. Thank you." We're not having that type of conversation no more.
Mhm.
I'm not. This is how it's supposed to be. No, I'm talking to him. Hey man, I need your help. Hey, um, I I messed up here. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? I'm having conversations, and
Mm.
time spent to help my growth. And and I'm trying to show an example for others. My son,
Yeah.
my daughter, they're still young, and I want to set an example to be like, hey, like this man has changed. This man has, he's bettering himself. He's he's taking these steps to be a better person, to be a better man, to be a better father. And you know, when people don't accept that from you, especially like people from your past, they don't see that, or they don't recognize it, or they don't want to recognize it at all. They want to keep you in this bubble of, no, you were an asshole.
Yep.
No, you were an idiot to me. You're this, you were that, you were this. Like when they still see you as that, and it's expressed, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because, you know, it's like, okay, well, if you don't see me change, then F you. You know, like, okay, well then I'll show you that. You want me to be that person, I'll be that person. You know, like, and that's the kind of mindset that we visioned and we saw from other men in our community, and we just took after it. Nobody's giving men any solutions as far as to how to go about their lives, how to make simple decisions. That's the part of the reason why men can't even figure out what they want to eat. Yeah. They can't even make a decision. Like, you know, I had that time when I was with my girlfriend, and, you know, I sat there and said, I don't know what to eat. I can't even make a decision about what I want to eat. You know, it's simple things like that we can't make decisions about, and we need to take more initiative in ourselves to trust ourselves as men, and be open to, like, it's okay to speak up. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay. It's okay. Just don't make the huge mistakes is where, you know, you have to have discernment. You have to have discernment with those things. You know better. You know damn well. You know damn well that you have a wife at home and you shouldn't be over here doing this. You know damn well.
Yep.
You know, like stuff like that. It's those things that, like, come on, bro. But we so caught up in, you know, these lives that we see on TV, these visions that we saw in the community. Sad.
Yeah. You brought up a very powerful point that I wanted to call out. And I think we're going to maybe use this on the next episode, or at least in future episodes. We saw more of the things that we weren't supposed to do. And we were conditioned by what we aren't supposed to do. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And our environments gave us ample examples and experiences of the things that we weren't supposed to do. However, to your point, when it came time for us to make decisions, we did the very things that we weren't supposed to do, and the very things that we were told not to do. That's a very powerful observation. I don't know what it's called. I'll have to look it up. But there's something to the fact that we don't do what we're supposed to do. We do what we see done most. Like, we have more examples of what not to do. And we were told, hey, look, those things, don't do those things. But yet we found ourselves doing those things. We were exposed. The environments, the experiences, the emotions, the energy that we were around, it was really a form of education. We were educated in what not to do, which actually taught us to do what we weren't supposed to do. If we were brought up in an environment with experiences and emotions and energy and education in what we should do, not doing what we shouldn't do wouldn't be a problem. We would just do what we should do. Huh.
Yeah.
Kind of a revelation, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
And where do we find our people? Where's our people? Entrenched in environments and engaged in experiences of what we shouldn't. be doing, who we shouldn't be being, what we shouldn't be thinking.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's super interesting. It's like we don't have to keep. Anyway, I'm about to go down a whole nother trail. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. We'll save all of our conspiracy theories and American culture and a black man in America. We'll save all that for later. We got time to get on those things, but it's no mystery that we are where we are. It was certainly by design. Certainly by design.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But here's the good news. With awareness, we can change that for ourselves.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, man. So listen, man, we've been at it for about an hour and 25. We want to start wrapping it up. Any closing thoughts, ideas, just anything, man, as we kind of close this up, and then I want to just do a quick little recap, and then we want to go ahead and just let folks know where to find us. But anything that you want to end out with, anything left on your heart concerning this topic that you want to express?
I would say just that you're gonna come across things that's out of your control. And the only thing you control is your voice, your reaction. And the mistakes that you make, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody. There's not one person on this planet that doesn't. And I think the point of it is to fix it, to get it right. And for my daughter to even see that post, she liked the post, and it was kind of like it was a moment that I looked at it like, okay, now I have to fix this, because she saw this part.
Yeah.
So now I have to find a way to fix this and to explain to her that this was the way that I went about it is not okay. I have to be better with that, and to show her where I went wrong. The outcome of it it wasn't worth it. At the end of the day, it wasn't worth it. So, just to be able to take a step back and look and ask that question that you've given me. What could this mean? What could this? There's something else that this could mean. And if I would have asked that question to myself, man, that post would have never happened. That's for damn sure.
Wow, look at that.
That post would have never happened. So, I appreciate the help. I appreciate this opportunity for you to give me to, just kind of ask for forgiveness in a way, and to kind of, be able to take this opportunity to better myself. Yeah, I would say that. Like it only made me better, and that's the way that I'm gonna see it. I'm not gonna see it as an effort. I'm not gonna see it as a mistake.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see it as an opportunity for me to grow. And
that's right.
That's where I'm forcing my mind to see that.
Yeah. Powerful, man. Powerful. Yeah. Funny thing I was thinking too, if there was a particular person that actually did pull it down and they were going through your feed as we begin to promo this episode, they'll have an opportunity, man, to see the other side, and you just never know what that might lead to.
Yeah.
So just the mysteries of life, man. Just doing the right thing when you have an opportunity to.
Yep.
So, all right, man. Let me do a quick recap, man. If you're just now joining on the live, or if you're catching this on the replay, if you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, or if you're listening on the podcast platform in and of itself, there were two things that we talked about. We talked about a lot. This was a rich conversation very edifying conversation, a very redemptive conversation. But in recapping, I don't want to try to hit everything that we said. Go back, listen to the episode. There's a lot that was shared, but there were two main themes that we talked about, two main takeaways. The first one is understanding emotions, and we're going to unpack this more and more as CJ and I continue to link up on these things, because I think there's a handful of things, man, that we as men, if we can just get a better understanding of them and how they work within us, we're going to just be better equipped as men to make those decisions that we need to be making. So the first one is emotions. Just as a recap, we're dealing with the emotion today of anger, but this goes for all emotions. Emotions in and of themselves, the easiest definition is informant. Think of it like in terms of cops, right? Is cops have informants. They leak information. They point to the crime boss or whatever you're kind of, dealing with within the show or even in like real life. But think of them as informants. They are informing you of something about yourself. They're pointing to something that you need to take notice of, that you need to consider, that you need to address. The emotion in and of itself is only a reflection of something greater that's happening within you, something deeper that is within your ability to address. It's going to take the work that we talked about earlier, but it is within your ability to address. And you can learn to address those things with the proper coaching, mentorship, and supportive community. All right. So emotions are informants. They're just pointing you to something. The practice that we want you to take away. All right. We're giving you real life solutions and tools. Do not underestimate the power of these techniques, even though they're super simple. All right. So the first thing is, whenever you feel a high emotion, consider curiosity before reacting. What are you telling me? What are you showing me? What are you pointing to? What do I need to take notice of? By asking yourself those quality questions, you can begin to at least do a deep dive within yourself, which works like a breath technique. Remember that 10 count, 10 deep breaths? It just calms you down. Well, by you asking yourself, what are you showing me? What are you pointing me to? What is it that I need to take notice of? You're, in a sense, taking 10 deep breaths. You're calming your nervous system down, because when you're high emotion, your logic is low, right? High emotion, logic is low. So when you begin to ask yourself these questions, you're regulating your emotional system, your emotion. You are regulating yourself emotionally, which puts you in a much better position and internal state to make a better decision, much better state to respond in a responsible way. All right. Number two, we talked about those 5 words. What else could this mean? Powerful, super simple, but powerful. What else could this mean? Many times when we are triggered, we become angry and we want to get back. I'm going to teach them a lesson. I'm going to show them that I ain't no joke. I'm going to show them what's up. I'm going to let them know how this thing is going down. All of that stuff that we've been pumped with over all of our years by so-called mentors, big brothers, uncles, the neighborhood, dope boys, the movies, the music, the culture, all of that garbage that's been pumped into us. And then we suffer for, we go to jail for, we lose our lives for, all of that nonsense that looks super cool on the surface, but we suffering underneath all of that garbage. What else could this mean? When we are high on, I'm about to, just ask yourself that question. What else could this mean? And it could mean an opportunity for you to leverage it for your good and for the good of others. It could mean that you just don't have enough evidence to make a quality decision and you just need to calm down and just let it go. It could mean a lot of different things. But again, the technique is giving yourself an opportunity to bring it down and to think with a level head so that you can put yourself in a position to make the best decision possible. Those 2 things will change your life. I'm gonna just be real with you. I'm so freaking tired of downplaying these techniques like this is life changing. Like, bro, me and you, we could do a whole seminar of just them two ideas. In fact, we will. Hell, we will. We coming to a city near you. We're gonna just take two ideas and change the world. Like, if men, think about this, if men knew them two techniques, bro, do you know how many arguments would be solved? How many people wouldn't get shot? How many people wouldn't die tonight? How many people wouldn't be going to jail tomorrow? How many marriages wouldn't be ending in divorce? How many kids wouldn't have deadbeat dads if we just had them two techniques?
Yeah.
But we overlook them because they're not sexy. They're not marketable. They're not glamorous. We want more men caves. We want more muscles. We want more grinding. We want more super stuff. No, dude. Control your mind. You have everything you want in life.
Yes.
But what's being marketed to us is take on more control, muscle up, grind a little harder, control everyone, dominate everything, be a macho man. That's foolishness. That's garbage. That's what got you suffering. Take it from us, we know. That's why we say it with such clarity and confidence, because we know. And you know too. So that's the recap. How do you get in contact with us? A couple of things I want to share before we shut it down. Number one, you got questions. Super dope. If you're on a podcast platform, super dope. There's a little button up at the top that says questions. Got questions? Click the link, man. It is anonymous. We won't know who you are. We don't know your mom and them name. We ain't got no address. We don't even got your phone number. It's an anonymous question. Drop the question if you're listening on a podcast platform. Okay, there's a little link. Just hit that button. Ask away. We will actually address your questions in the next episode. All right. So we will take those questions serious. Submit your questions. All right. We will answer them on the next episode. If you are interested in working with us in any capacity, okay, iamthepossible.com. There's links in the show notes, links in the description, but you're going to go to iamthepossible.com or click the link, and there's a coaching section, and there's a email section. Just reach out. There's all kinds of links within there for clarity calls and discovery calls and all that good stuff. There's a million different ways to get into contact with us. We would love to serve and support your success in that way. If you are a nonprofit, if you are a faith-informed organization, if you are a church, if you are a brotherhood, a mentorship program, if you're anyone that at least respects the idea that there's a God, that there's something greater than us going on, and you would like us to come in, do talks, workshops, coaching sessions, mentorship programs, if you want us to come and serve you in any capacity, we would love to work with you. So again, all of that information is in the link. Just hit that link. Let's connect. Lastly, if you want to support this effort, there's also another link. Everything is in that link. All right. But if you want to financially support this platform, if you like the things we're talking about, if you like the things that we're doing and you want to support us, all of this technology costs. Okay. Right now we're fitting the bill because this is what we do. This is our business. This is our profession. This is our passion. But if you want to partner with us, if you want to financially contribute to supporting this platform, you can do so. Click the link. You can set up a monthly contribution to support this platform. It can go from as little as $1 up to how much ever you want to contribute on a regular basis, and you can cancel anytime. All right. That's it, man. That's it, dude. Thank you so much, bro, for rocking out, man. I think this is good stuff. We just getting started. Man, the best is always yet to come, man. So yeah, man. Anything else before we shut it down, man?
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the opportunity, brother. Yeah. That's all I can say.
Likewise, bro. Likewise. All right, guys, that's it. Another episode done down here in the I Am the Possible universe, here on the I Am the Possible podcast experience. If you are watching on the tube, and you should be watching on the tube, please leave a comment. Let us know what hit home. You can ask questions there as well, but let us know what hit home. Please like, share, and subscribe. That helps to elevate the message. We want to get this message out to as many men as possible. When you see us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, wherever we are, if you see us, share this, repost this, put it on your story. Let men know we are better together. All right?
Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. For more information, visit me at iamthepossible.com.